Assalamu alaikum everybody. Welcome back to my channel Rapid Revision. This particular question is question number 2 of May-June 2024, paper 2 variant 1. This is on errors in suspense, and in one of my videos I've mentioned that errors in suspense is the most repeated topic, and in every paper you will find one question on errors in suspense. So you should be very good with error corrections and errors, of course, that what errors are and how do we correct all the errors. Here they're saying Paul is a trader. He maintains a 3-column cash book. Paul has prepared draft financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2024. Paul later discovered the following 5 errors in his accounting records for the year ended 31st March 2024. They've given you 5 errors here, and in the first part they are expecting you to correct these errors. So they are saying here, prepare the journal entries required to correct these 5 errors. Narratives are not required. It's very simple. If you want to prepare the journal entries to correct these errors, number one is a purchase invoice 140 had been debited to the account of office equipment. So office equipment is a non-current asset. Purchases is when you purchase goods on credit, you record that in the purchases account. So if you've recorded purchases of goods in the office equipment account, you need to remove it from the office equipment account first. So I will write here office equipment. I will credit it office equipment because office equipment is an assets. Assets increase on the debit side, decrease on the credit side. But if you have debited the office equipment account, you need to credit the office equipment account to remove the amount from the office equipment account and debit the purchases account. So you debit the purchases account and you write 140, and error number 1. This is error number 1. Yes, so purchases debit, office equipment credit. And the next part, like second error here says, cash discount received $18 had been recorded in the bank payments column of the cash book. So the bank payments column is like you're crediting the bank account with this $18, which is the discount received. So if you're crediting the bank account, which is wrongly credited, you need to debit the bank account first. So you need to remove it from the bank. So if you've credited the bank by $18, you debit the bank by $18. And then this was basically cash discount received. So discount received is an income. Incomes are always credited. Incomes should always be credited. So because we recorded that in the bank payments column, you debit the bank payments column. So you debit the bank account and you credit the discount received account because incomes increase on the credit side. Incomes are recorded basically when they are credited. So I'll write here discount received. I'll write here $18. This will be number 2. The third error here says carriage inwards $82 had been credited to the carriage outwards account. So basically, if you have carriage inwards and carriage outwards are both expenses, but carriage inwards is like when you are purchasing goods, and for that purchases to bring it to your warehouse you are paying carriage, that is transportation. So if carriage inwards is credited to the carriage outwards account, you need to debit the carriage outwards account to remove it from the carriage outwards account. So I'll write here carriage outwards, and I will debit the carriage outwards by $82 here. Okay, to record carriage inwards, I need to record it on the debit side because expenses are recorded when when expense account is debited. So because we had wrongly credited the carriage outwards account, we debited the carriage outwards account once, and then we debit the carriage inwards account in order to record it in the carriage inwards account. So I'll write here $82. And now on the credit side, I don't have anything here. So I need to write here suspense because suspense will be credited because I don't have anything to credit, anything else to credit. This will be 164. 82 plus 82 is 164. Now error correction number 4. A payment for insurance 375 had been debited to the bank account and credited to the insurance account. This is error of reversal because insurance, whenever you are paying insurance, the double entry for payment of insurance is bank credit, insurance debit. So debit the insurance account, credit the bank account. But they have done the reverse thing. They have debited the bank account. So money comes in the business when you debit the bank account. But for insurance, you are paying money, right? So you need to credit the bank account and you need to debit the insurance account. But what they did was that they debited the bank account and they credited the insurance account. So now we'll simply make the correct entry and double the amount. So it's like this. So in the insurance account, I was supposed to record this on the debit side 375, but I recorded this on the credit side. So once I will debit the insurance account and remove the error, again I will debit the insurance account in order to record insurance of 375. In the bank account, again, on the debit side, I recorded 375, although it was a payment. This wasn't a receipt. So I will credit 375 once, and I will remove this 375. I will correct the error first, and I'll again credit the bank account in order to record the payment of insurance of 375. So that means I need to double the amounts, and whenever we are correcting error of reversal, we need to double the amounts. So this is basically complete reversal. So what I'll do is I will write here insurance account debit, and 375 plus 375 is 750, and I will credit the bank account. Again, 375 plus 375 is 750. So this will be my correct entry: insurance account debit, bank account credit, $750. The last error here, the bank receipts column of the cash book. So the receipts column is the debit side of the cash book. So whenever receipt side is the debit side of the cash book, and the payment side is the credit side of the cash book. Whenever we are receiving money, we record it on the debit side of the cash book, and whenever we are paying money, we record it on the credit side of the cash book. They're saying here, the bank receipts column of the cash book for February 2024 had been undercast by $90. So they have basically, in calculation, they have under added the debit side of the receipts column of the cash book. So I'll basically debit the bank here by $90, and this is error number 5, and I will credit suspense because I don't have anything to credit here, so I'll simply credit suspense here. And because I had under added the debit side of the bank account, that means my debit total was less than what it was supposed to be. So I debited the bank account by $90 and credited the suspense account here. And now in the next part B of this, we need to correct the bank balance. The original cash at bank means the bank balance in the financial statements was 3290, and I need to correct it because I have made a lot of entries related to bank. So I will just make a star around. So I have made a lot of entries related to bank in this question. So I need to basically highlight these for you. So I will highlight the bank related. So here I have debited in error number 2, I have debited the bank. In error correction number 4, I have credited the bank, and again in error correction number 5, I have debited the bank. So whenever I have debited the bank, that means my balance has increased. Whenever I have credited the bank, that means my balance has decreased. So for one correction, I have credited the bank, so that means my balance has decreased. So I will add 18 here. So I will write here $18. This is error number 2. So for error number 2, I will add $18, and then for error number 4, I will subtract $750. So I'll write here error number 4. I will subtract $750, and then for error number 5, I have debited bank, and this I have debited bank by $90. So I will add 90 here, and now I will calculate the correct bank balance. So I'll write here 3290 plus 18 minus 750 plus 90, which will give me 2648 is my correct bank balance after the correction of errors. In the next part, they are saying calculate the corrected profit for the year ended 31st March 2024, which is pretty simple. What I need to do is that I need to look at my entries and see which of my entries are going to affect profit. Which of these entries is going to affect profit. So I'll basically change my highlighter color here. I'll basically just highlight those things which affect my profit. So purchases, yes, purchases goes in the income statement. Everything that goes in the income statement is going to affect my profit. Purchases goes in the income statement, so yes, it will affect my profit. Discount received goes in the income statement, that will affect my profit. Carriage outwards and carriage inwards are also both income statement accounts, so that will also affect my profit. Carriage outwards and carriage inwards. Insurance is an income statement account, that will also affect my profit. So simply when I'm debiting purchases, that means I'm increasing my purchases, which means my cost of sales will increase because purchases is added in the cost of sales calculation. My cost of sales will increase, because of which my profit will decrease. So I will subtract 140. I'll write here purchases. Okay, I have credited discount received, which means discount received is an income, and incomes are always credited. If you have credited discount received, which means you are increasing in income. Whenever you increase in income, your profit will increase. So I'll write here $18. I'll write here discount received. Okay, I will basically add $18 here. In the next error correction, that is carriage outwards and carriage inwards, both of these are my expenses. So expenses, when they are debited, you are increasing in expense. When you increase in expense, your profit reduces. So carriage inwards basically is part of the cost of sales calculation. So if you add carriage inwards and you increase carriage inwards, that means cost of sales will increase, hence your profit will decrease. Again, carriage outwards is part of the expenses section of the income statement, less other expenses section of the income statement. So carriage outwards, if you are debiting carriage outwards account, which means you are increasing the expense of carriage outwards, that means your profit will decrease because of this. So carriage inwards and carriage outwards both will basically reduce your profit. So I'll subtract both of these. So I'll write here carriage inwards, I'll subtract 82, and I'll write here again carriage outwards, and I will subtract 82. And then there is something important. Yes, insurance is being debited. Whenever expense is debited, that means you are increasing in expense. If you're increasing insurance, you are debiting insurance, which means expense, if it is increased, profit will be reduced. So you will simply subtract insurance from this calculation also. So I'll write here insurance, and I will subtract 750. So basically I'm subtracting everything except for discount received, because discount received was credited in this case. So profit after correcting the errors will be 8232. Profit after correcting errors will be my profit after correcting the errors will be 8232. That is it. This question was pretty simple. You guys need to know the income statement really well, and things like, okay, expenses, whenever they are debited, expenses are increasing, and whenever an expense is credited, that means expense is decreasing. Similarly, for incomes, it's the opposite. Whenever an income is increasing, you credit the income account, and whenever an income is decreasing, you debit the income account. And basically how the T accounts work, if you know that, you can simply solve this question really well. So this is a pretty simple question. So thank you so much for watching.